When women feel this, they desire sex immediately. Most men try to earn sex by being useful, available, or agreeable. That's backwards. Women don't feel sexual desire through comfort. They feel it through emotional stimulation. You don't need to be rich, tall, or say the right thing. You need to know what she's wired to crave emotionally and give it to her in doses she can't control. This isn't about pretending. It's about pressure. You create the exact emotional experience that flips the switch from polite to primal. Most men try to get her attention. High V-value men create tension. She wants to resolve sexually. These 7 feelings, when triggered in her, make her body want sex immediately. And when you learn to cause them on command, you stop chasing and start choosing one emotional interruption. Women are addicted to emotional momentum. When you break rapport, mid-flow, pause, go silent, shift topics, it creates tension. Her brain starts hunting for resolution. That tension builds arousal. When she doesn't know what comes next, her body prepares for release. Emotional interruption disrupts her expected emotional pattern. Pull her deeper into the moment and begin building a magnetic connection that's difficult for her to resist. Emotional interruption is not about confusion or discomfort, but about creating a brief but meaningful pause in the emotional rhythm. That heightens anticipation and keeps her emotionally engaged. The key is timing it well, so it feels natural and intentional rather than abrupt or rude. This technique taps into her innate craving for continuity in emotional experience but flips it into a craving for you to fill the gap with something more thrilling and desirable to controlled unpredictability. When you say things that are calm but hard to label, maybe or maybe not, or you touch briefly, then withdraw. Her nervous system shifts into uncertainty. Psychologically, unpredictability increases dopamine, and dopamine spikes sexual motivation. Predictability is safe. Mystery is sexual introducing. Controlled unpredictability keeps her emotionally off balance in a way that feels thrilling rather than threatening. This subtle emotional roller coaster makes you fascinating and creates a craving for more interaction. Unpredictability is about balance. You don't want to be erratic or inconsistent in a negative way, but rather gently oscillate between approach and withdrawal, confidence and subtle hesitation, or clarity and ambiguity. This dance stimulates her mind as much as her body and enhances emotional intimacy by keeping her intrigued and emotionally activated. It demonstrates you are complex and layered, which women find highly attractive on a subconscious level. 3. Silent authority. When you say little but hold complete composure, still body, deep breath, unfazed eye contact, you create contrast. Her emotional brain reads it as you're not reacting because you already know she wants you. That imbalance builds sexual urgency fast. Silent authority demonstrates confidence without arrogance. It shows you're secure in yourself and your place in the interaction, which heightens her attraction because she senses you are in control of the emotional environment and not easily swayed by external factors. Silent authority is a form of emotional mastery that communicates strength through restraint. It requires deep self-awareness and calmness under pressure. This calm dominance feels like safety wrapped in excitement. It signals to her nervous system that you are a reliable source of emotional intensity without unpredictability or drama, making her feel both alive and secure at the same time. For boundary friction, when you respectfully tease a rule or confidently call out her avoidance, you signal dominance. Her arousal rises when she feels your willingness to challenge her filters, not through aggression but through certainty. Sense of playful challenge and emotional intensity that makes her feel alive and seen. It establishes a dynamic where you're the emotional leader and she's intrigued by your fearless presence. This builds trust alongside sexual tension. Boundary friction is essential because it prevents the interaction from becoming too safe or dull by introducing respectful resistance. You demonstrate you're not a pushover and that her emotional comfort zone is expandable. This dynamic of push and pull is deeply stimulating psychologically because it mirrors primal courtship rituals where challenge and conquest were intertwined with desire. Move that delay weaponizes anticipation. Her mind starts rehearsing the outcome. Evolution rewards anticipation more than outcome. Activates the pleasure centers in the brain. It makes the eventual release more intense and memorable because you've cultivated desire slowly and deliberately instead of rushing to gratification. Confidence to resist the urge to jump straight to physical gratification. Instead, you channel sexual energy into an exquisite buildup that amplifies desire. This deliberate pacing also shows respect for her experience because it focuses on shared pleasure and connection rather than instant gratification. The slower the buildup, the deeper the eventual emotional and physical release, creating a lasting impression of intimacy and intensity. 6. Reframing her desire as yours. Instead of asking, "Do you like me?" you flip it. "You want me to say it, don't you?" That subtle reversal makes her feel chosen, not pursued. Women crave selective approval the moment she feels like you're deciding. Desire spikes Reframing desire shifts the power dynamic. Making her feel privileged and special, you create an emotional environment where she feels valued and selected rather than one of chasing approval, which naturally increases attraction and emotional investment. This shift taps into deep psychological needs around self-worth and belonging. When she senses she's not just one option, but the chosen one, it activates feelings of exclusivity and importance that fuel sexual chemistry. Reframing also demonstrates your confidence and emotional leadership, which women instinctively respond to because it signals you can meet their emotional needs while setting boundaries around your own 7 total present moment focus. When you give undivided attention but don't rush, perform, or impress, you signal full psychological control. That presence is rare. It tells her nervous system he's not in his head, he's in mine. That immersion pulls her into her body and into arousal. Presence is one of the most magnetic qualities you can develop because it shows emotional intelligence and mastery. You communicate safety and authenticity, simultaneously making it easy for her to drop defenses and feel connected to you on a deep emotional and physical level. Total present moment focus is not just about listening, but about fully embodying the interaction with calm curiosity and genuine interest. This level of presence cultivates trust and emotional safety, which are prerequisites for deep intimacy. It also allows you to read subtle cues and adjust your energy in real time, making the experience feel organic and deeply satisfying. Presence is a skill that requires mindfulness practice and self-regulation, but its payoff is profound because it transforms the encounter from a superficial exchange into a soulful connection. When you stop trying to prove your value and start embodying it, something dramatic shifts. You're no longer the one reaching, you become the one she orbits around because high emotional influence doesn't chase validation, it generates gravity. That gravity pulls her in, makes her wonder why she's thinking about you when she's alone, makes her nervous before she sees you, excited during and unsettled after, not because she's confused, but because she's awakened. That emotional craving is not accidental. It's engineered through presence, polarity, and precision. Presence means your energy is here and now, fully. It means you're not outcome dependent, not filtering your actions through a desire to impress or perform. Presence dissolves self-consciousness and invites her into her own body. Women live in their minds until a man who is fully present gives her permission to descend into sensation. And that descent is where desire begins, because desire doesn't live in logic, it lives in the limbic system, the emotional memory, the body's felt sense of being seen and desired. Without needing to explain why polarity is tension between energies that crave union, it's created when masculine and feminine energies are expressed fully and cleanly. The masculine is depth, stillness, purpose, direction, containment, while the feminine is movement, emotion, beauty, chaos, expression. When you stand in your masculine without collapsing or reacting to her tests, her storm, or her silence, she feels your depth as a container for her wildness. That tension of containment is erotic to her because it feels like freedom. It gives her space to express without being judged and the freedom to surrender without losing power. That polarity heightens every interaction because she senses the charge even in silence. Precision means you're aware of what to say, how to say it, and when to say nothing at all. Micro shifts in her tone, body language, and energy, and knowing how to respond in a way that deepens the moment. Emotional mastery allows you to adapt without performing, to lead without dominating, to tease without mocking. Precision creates moments that feel tailored to her unique emotional world, and that's what makes you unforgettable. Now, let's go deeper into advanced emotional triggers that amplify sexual chemistry and create what many call soulmate-level obsession. Because at the core of it, she doesn't just want your touch, she wants to feel known through your presence, your depth, and your emotional clarity. 8. Emotional mirroring. This is not parroting her words, it's feeling her emotional tone and reflecting it back. In a grounded state, if she's excited, you echo her excitement, but anchor it in calm. Curiosity, if she's nervous, you hold space, not with sympathy but with slow, calming certainty. Emotional mirroring builds resonance, and that resonance tells her you understand her unspoken world. The more she feels emotionally mirrored, the more she relaxes and opens because her subconscious says, you get her, and that's rare. That understanding builds both trust and eroticism, because she feels safe being fully seen. 9. Narrative inversion. Women are storytellers by nature. They live inside emotional narratives. When you subtly shift the story she's telling herself, you unlock her imagination. Instead of saying, I like you, say something like, you're trouble, aren't you? And you know it. This rewrites her script. Suddenly, she's not in control of the story. And that uncertainty creates tension. Narrative inversion isn't about being negative or sarcastic. It's about reframing her identity in a way that's emotionally provocative. It makes her feel like you see something in her she hasn't fully owned yet, and that makes her want to explore it with you. 10. Emotional escalation. Reveals more emotional intensity rather than trying to be sexually forward from the start. You start with curiosity, move to connection, add playful challenge. Escalate too fast, you break the circuit, but if you escalate emotionally first, her body follows. Emotional escalation creates a pathway where physical intimacy becomes inevitable because emotional intimacy is already blooming. 11. Subtle sexual implication. This is the art of speaking with silence, with tone, with implication without ever being explicit. It's a look that lingers, a word with a double meaning, a pause before a sentence. A slow breath before a reply. When done right, this kind of implication bypasses logic and lands in her body. It activates her imagination, which is where all female arousal begins. Women respond to suggestion more than directness because it lets them fill in the blanks with their own desire. Subtle implication is respectful and potent because it invites without pressure and excites without expectation. 12. High-value detachment. This is not coldness or withdrawal. It says, I'm here by choice, not because I need anything from you. That self-sufficiency triggers deep desire, attention, and that makes it feel more valuable. High-value detachment is magnetic because it removes neediness from the equation, which is the #1 killer of sexual polarity. When you combine these deeper emotional skills with the foundational 7, you don't just become attractive, you become unforgettable. Because attraction isn't built on logic or checklist qualities, it's born from tension, contrast, timing, and presence. These are the qualities that make women crave you long after the moment is over, because they don't just remember what you said, they remember how they felt around you. If you're still trying to get her attention, you've missed the point. True power isn't in being seen. Can create emotional electricity on command, never has to ask for intimacy because she's already leaning in already. Wondering why her body reacts before her mind can explain it? You don't need perfect lines or perfect timing. You need awareness, tension, and the willingness to stop performing and start leading emotionally. The man who leads with clarity, presence, and calibrated pressure is the man she will chase, dream about, and surrender to willingly, because he activates not just her mind, but her feminine core. This is the next evolution in emotional and sexual mastery. It's not for boys who need approval. It's for men who've outgrown performance and are ready to claim polarity and presence as their natural state. When you own this, you don't beg for connection. You command it, not through force, but through energetic gravity.